Well, good morning. We're in day 7 of our journey together, praying the prayer that God would help us to see people the way He sees them and to break our hearts for the things that break His heart. And about now, you should be beginning to get a little discouraged about some of the news of our world. Hang in there with me. Um, there is hope, but we've still got to continue working our way through Matthew 25. Where He said, I was hungry, I was thirsty. And today I want to talk to you about I was sick. Just some of the things that come from our world and the illnesses that kind of surround it. Really, I want to talk to you just about 3 diseases: malaria, tuberculosis, and the HIV and AIDS pandemic. Just a few things about these. And again, I'm using Richard Stern's book. In the United States and Europe, only 2 out of every 1,000 children die before their 5th birthday. In Africa, on the other hand, 165 of every 1,000 are dead by the age of 5. And in Sierra Leone, the worst country in the world for child mortality, 28% of all children are dead by age 5. Life expectancy in America and in Europe is 78, but in sub-Saharan Africa it is only 47. In some countries in Africa it's even worse than that. It's between 35 and 40. Malaria, a disease that is treatable, but in parts of the world there are 500 million clinical cases of malaria each year, resulting in 1.5 to 2.7 million deaths. It is one of the great killers of the history of mankind. Tuberculosis, this is amazing to me. TB, 1/3 of our world's population is infected with tuberculosis. 2 billion people. 2 billion people with tuberculosis. And it's causing about 1 million deaths a year. HIV and AIDS is one that maybe we're a little more, at least I was a little more familiar with it, and our church is a little more active in the midst of it. But let me just kind of give you some statistics about it. HIV now infects 33 million people, and 70% of those infections are on the continent of Africa. It takes more than 25 million lives. It has taken more than 25 million lives since 1981. And the infection rate in some of the countries in Africa is as high as 20% or more. Swaziland, which is right next to Zimbabwe, where we're super active as a church, it's over 30% of an infection rate. And it's beginning to take huge roots in places like India, Latin America, the Caribbean. It's beginning to spread like crazy. Every day, more than 6,800 new people are infected with AIDS, and more than 5,700 die every day, every single day, which equals 2.5 million new infections a year with 2 million deaths. One of the tragedies of the HIV and AIDS, which is one of the places where we have rallied as a church and where I have been most impacted, has been with the orphans that are left behind. In our world today, there are over 15 million orphans because of the HIV and AIDS pandemic. And so when we think about the humongous issues around our world, where I was thirsty, I was hungry, I was sick. Maybe these will give you an idea. And today we can ask that in those areas where we can do something, that we would do something, and that we would, as a church of whole in the United States, begin to come to the aid of some folks that are, because of their poverty, has made them susceptible to diseases that are mostly treatable.